I've just had my tripod out, so I thought, you know what, I'll just put my camera on and show you what I've been up to. Now, I have made quite a few things last year. If you haven't already seen them, I will link my roundup video down below in the description box. So I made 52 things. I may have made a couple of failed things, but 52 things last year, a lot. I've made quite a bit this year, but nowhere near as much as that. But the reason for me not making as much is, let's wheel my chair in, is that I made things last year which I just haven't worn. So I thought I'd just share them with you, because I touched briefly last week on last week's video about colour and what kind of colours would suit me, that I downloaded a free app which said you could find out what your colours were, and I came out as, I think it was a cool winter, I think it was what it was called. So this is one of the colours, like a tealy sort of petrol colour. And if I show you, I've got sort of blue-grey eyes, I've dark hair, I've just tied it up because I'll get to that in a sec, because I want to show you a coat that I've just finished. So these are the types of colours and shades that I'm moving towards, and I'll show you what I'm going to declutter out of my cupboard, because I've just filmed an Instagram reel, and if you don't follow me on Instagram, please feel free to do so, because you'll find me in between videos, you'll find me over on stories, and you can then see what I'm up to as like a behind the scenes rather than waiting for my next video, because I've been a bit random in when I'm filming. This one is a Sew Over It Florence dress. Now it's a sort of midi length, I think, so it's elasticated at the waist. I do have a video with it in, and it has this sort of mandarin collar. I haven't got a top button on it for some reason, but it just sits funny because the pattern's only on one side. It kind of, the collar doesn't sit right, it just kind of flops out, and then you see the underside of the fabric. But also the leaves are like this funny colour, like a beigey colour, can you see? So it's not white, it's kind of this creamy colour, and I think it just washes me out. I mean, I did wear it to work once with a red cardigan to kind of jazz it up a bit, but that colour, I've realised it's gone. So this is the first one, and I did have a brown belt to have around the waist, which sort of broke up and gave me some waist definition, but I think it's the colour, the print. I'm not really a dress person. In the summer I like to wear a nice summer dress to kind of keep cool, but this is going in the donation pile. The next one is a sweatshirt, which I did wear because it's really fleecy on the inside and the fabric feels really nice. But one, I'll just do it, drum roll, I'm not a floral person, but I was trying out florals, and when I wore this, the colour comes up darker on camera. It's like this sort of, it's not quite a baby pink, more that's a blush pink, I guess. I wasn't feeling it. I think also the size is, it's the Simplicity 8259, which is like their version of the toaster sweater. I made a few of them. This is what this is actually. This is in a medium, and this one was graded up to a large, and it just hangs off, and I feel bigger than what I am, and the colour and the print just doesn't do it for me. So this is being donated. Next up, someone said these colours actually suit me, probably because I've got like dark hair, but I made it in a sort of linen fabric, which is really a bit too stiff. Well, I don't know, actually, to tell you the truth, it's not the linen, it's the interfacing that I used on the yoke. It's interfaced, and I don't think it needs to be interfaced. It's really stiff, and all I had was quite thick interfacing, although it was a medium interfacing, it wasn't a lightweight, and it feels like cardboard wearing this. Plus, the pattern, it's the McCalls pattern, if I remember I'll put it down below. I did loads of adjustments, so it fits really well. You know, I think I did full bust adjustment, took some in, so it fits me, sway back adjustment, you name it, I did it on this shirt. I just feel quite very shouldery and a bit sort of, feels quite a masculine fitting shirt. And the colours and the fact that I used interfacing like the instructions tell you to, but I shouldn't have done, and it's really stiff, it just doesn't feel comfortable to wear. So this, and these colours were actually on at the bottom of the palette where it said what suits me, it said what doesn't suit me, and these are all the colours. So this is going to be donated. Another one I made, this is I think it's a Butterick pattern, and I made this a couple of years ago, and it's a dress which has a wrap front, so it's all in one sort of shift dress, and then it has this extra panel here which goes over, and I I did a bit of like self-covering, facing, that's probably the word, for the sort of wrap over tie, because it doesn't say that in the instructions, so you would see the white when it's tied up. So I'm going to show you. It's a full length sleeve and it's a cotton jersey, and so it just ties at the waist. If I can get that tied, I'm too lazy to try it on. So it does give gathering, you know, the shape is quite nice, but I never knew what to wear with this, like footwear wise. So there is a bit of black. I suppose you could wear tights and boots, but then it seemed really dressed up. I tried it with trainers and a denim jacket, but that didn't really go either because it's high neck and long sleeve. I could never really get the balance of what to wear with it. But the colours, again. So I show you, so these are the sort of autumny colours, and then I'll show you what I'm wearing now. And I think that the richer sort of jewel tones look a lot better on me than that. So this has been donated. I've worn it a couple of times, but then that's it. Another one which is going, which is actually a new look. It's their shirt dress. It's really popular. It had really good reviews. If you go to patternreview.com, everyone has reviewed it like really good, and it is a good pattern. I think I've done a couple of adjustments, like narrow shoulder adjustment to get, so it fits okay. This was originally made as part of like doing a blog post, which I'm not affiliated with that company anymore, so I won't include who that is. But this fabric at the time was didn't cost me anything, it was free, and I bought the pattern just to try, and it goes out into a sort of fairly full skirt. It's fuller than the straight down. There's a couple of different options. This is the fuller skirt. It's not gathered or anything. It sort of reminded me of the presenter Kirsty Allsop off Location, and other programs that she did. Shirt dress, and it has like the self-tie waist. I have not worn this other than taking photos for a blog post. I have never worn this, and I think it's a print. I've realised that I like a stripe and I like a plain, and that's it. Stripe and a plain. They're the sort of the basics. Anything kind of abstract or, you know, out there. I mean, the colours are my sort of colours that I would like a nice blue. I would gravitate for that. But honestly, sleeves are a little bit snug now, but I've never worn that, and I just thought, why have I still got that in my wardrobe hanging on the rail if I'm not going to wear it? So that is being donated, but it just made me interested and made me realise more about kind of colour and how colour makes you feel when you wear it, and what colours suit you. So someone may put a comment down below, like they've done previously, and say, oh, that jumper, or oh, that shirt, that's really your colour, but when I wear it, it doesn't make me feel good. And it's really odd because a lot of people have said that red really suits me, and I have really steered clear of red. I bought a bright red coat once, and whenever I put it on, perhaps it was the style, but I didn't feel good. It was really bizarre. But when I put my navy coat on, I felt absolutely fine and I felt confident. When I wore the red one, I don't know, maybe it's something about like standing out, and I am actually an introvert, so whether it's just like wanting to like be in the background and red is too much of a out there colour, I'm not sure. I'm trying to be a bit more braver in choosing some reds, but I've made a raspberry sort of colour shirt, which I'll probably include in my next video, but I just wanted to show you. So last coat hanger, last week I told you that I had finished the Mallard jacket by the Sewing Revival, and that I was going to take it to the dry cleaners once we were all free of COVID isolations and all that nonsense. And I'm feeling so much better. I feel like full energy again. I've still got a bit of breathlessness hanging around, but hopefully that will sort itself out. I have an inhaler from the doctors, so hopefully that will settle down. I'm actually back to work tomorrow because my daughter will have finished her isolation. I'm filming this on Wednesday, so midnight tonight is when we are completely free as a household. So anyway, so I was able to go out, and so I went to the dry cleaners. Now I'm going to insert, before I put this on actually, I'm going to insert the clip I took last week of before I took it. Now I was taking it to be pressed, because although I have a clapper, this isn't 100% wool, and I just couldn't get a good press on it. And so I'll put the clip in so you can see how sort of curved and bubbled the edges were. I hadn't put the enclosures on because I wanted to give it a press, or pay to have it pressed. Then I was going to put the snap sogs. It's done with snaps. You can do buttons, but the pattern originally just said snaps. Can you see the edge here? how thin and how sort of flat that press from the dry cleaners was done. She told me that she wasn't able to get the pocket flaps completely flat, but they're so much flatter and better than what they were. So I'm just kind of like cross-referencing in the viewfinder so I can see to show you. So these are sewn-on snaps, and they're quite large ones. So I'll just do those up, and then you can see how the jacket hangs. Now this was made with the intention of making the full length version, because there's two options on this one. So this was made, I think from the top of my head, this was made in a size 16, and I did a 1-inch narrow shoulder adjustment because I wanted to have it sized so I had room for a nice thick cardigan, which I do. I have the Marlo sweater, and that fits under this, and it's not tight wearing it. So I have that sort of ease, which is really nice to have. It is fully lined, so the pockets are lined and the actual jacket is lined. I did use horsehair canvas to go around the front for the pocket flaps and for the collar, and I hand stitched that on. But I think if I do the full length coat, because I have that in wool, I will probably do like the back stay, and I'll maybe do the sleeve heads, which I didn't do in this one just because I was kind of being a bit lazy and I didn't want it to be too formal. I wanted a bit of structure, but I still want to keep it fairly casual. So I really like this jacket. It may not be suitable for completely in the depths of, if we get a really cold winter, it may not quite keep me warm enough because I'm not sure the fibre content of it, but I'm really happy with the way that this sits. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's certainly sitting a lot flatter than what I could get off my iron and my clapper. The other thing I wanted to show you is that I made another coat. So I got this back and sewed the snaps on, and then I bought some fabric, which I can't remember if I met, no, I put it on my Instagram stories, I didn't say it on YouTube. I don't know if you've seen, there's like quilted coats all everywhere, all like fashion bloggers and everyone's saying that's like that, but they're all like in a green, which again falls with my sort of autumn palette of colours I want to avoid at the moment, and they're really long sort of quilted jackets. Now I have had a coat like that before, and it feels like you're wearing a duvet, and it's so snug and so warm, but being 5'3", and I have seen some shorter people in photographs with their coat just completely swamps them. You basically end up with coat, 2 little feet out the bottom. So I thought I'm going to make a quilted coat. So I went online and I searched quilted fabric, and I saw some pre-quilted fabric which came up, which actually I've got some left over in my drawer. So I saw this online. So it's pre-quilted fabric, but it's, you know, there's nothing on the outside of it, so it's still that sort of rough woolliness, but I thought that's perfect. So I found, obviously there is the Tamarack jacket and another one I've seen, but I found by Pauline the Ayora jacket, which is for, the instructions do tell you throughout to basically, you have the two sorts of flat fabric, like a cotton, and you quilt them together. You don't add any stuffing or anything. So I didn't really follow the instructions for the jacket. I did cut out muslin, and it was really short, and I was super short, and it felt small. It felt like there's no way I could fit a cardigan under it. So I sized up to the size 44. I did a 1-inch narrow shoulder adjustment, and then I added probably like 5 inches to the length. The only problem with doing that is I forgot, by adding at the shortening and lengthening lines, when I added that length, that meant the coat wasn't going to be waist length, it was going to be hip length, and I forgot to allow extra ease for around my hips, so it has come out really tight. But I will show you it because I made it this week. Being off, I thought I'll make the most of it, and plus it's so bulky because I always said recipe then, the instructions said 2.5 meters for my size, and so I couldn't order in half meters from the site I ordered from, so I had to order 3. So I had all this fabric, so there's no way it was going to fit in my drawer, so I had to use it. So this is the jacket. Now, I don't know whether it's because it's pre-quilted and it has that sort of stuffing in it. It does feel a little bit snug on the arms, and I won't lie, and I added 1 inch to the length, and look, it's come out really short. So I don't know whether it's because it's got sort of padded. I mean, it is more padded around this bit here than it is around the actual jacket. It's not actually that thick, but I wanted it for extra warmth. So this is supposed to have snaps, And if I lose a few pounds, I mean this is fine, but round the hips, it's a real struggle. There's no ease. So I did think, because it's like curved off, just stand up so you can see, whether to put like 1, 2, 3, so I can actually have it done up. But I've seen quite a lot of people on Instagram, and I looked under the hashtag, they do have it sitting out. Now I didn't pattern match, I didn't even think about pattern matching, which I was kind of annoyed about, and I could have recut, but I couldn't be bothered. So that's the pattern. I think the pocket, so I think it matches on that side, but that one it doesn't. The grid lines don't completely go up. It has a big slanted, nice big pocket here, slanted, and I did bias binding for the edge of the pocket by using this fabric, and I've ripped off the stuffing and just made some strips of bias binding and did that for the tops of the pockets. And then because it's lined, this is actually the lining that I use in my bright pink raincoat, that I am Jack's raincoat, so I had some left over. And so because the pattern tells you to have like 2 pieces of fabric and you quilt them together, I was using pre-quilted fabric but wanted to add a lining, so all I did was cut the same size and then basted them together, so interlined. So I just treated them as one piece of fabric rather than adding a lining and trying to hang it and everything else, because of kind of following the instructions and kind of mashing it up myself. So that's how it went. So the let me take it off. So there's lining throughout. Now where the sort of stuffing meets, where it joins, it was quite itchy, so I then made some bias binding out of the polka dot fabric and just covered that seams on the inside. And then I did the same for the armholes, made some, so I'd already sewn all the arm up, and then I just quickly made some bias binding and just sewed that on just so it wasn't itchy, because it was a little bit scratchy, and did the same for the shoulder seams. So I made the polka dot bias binding, because otherwise you get the raw edge of like that stuffing and it's a little bit itchy. But it was only £7, about £7.50 a metre, so it was really good value, I think. And this was, it's not great, it's not that big, but you couldn't fit this, I couldn't fit this over a big jumper. I mean, I am wearing a t-shirt and this sort of this simplicity jumper, which is quite a thin sweatshirting fabric. I think being undone, that's fine, and with a t-shirt, but you can't wear that with, unfortunately you can't wear that with a big knit, so I think I'll save that for the black one. But I wanted to have the option of a navy jacket, sort of casual, and a smarter black one, because I probably did a video actually about my coats and jackets that I've made, because what I've currently got and what I currently use, they are thin. So I've got a denim jacket and a raincoat, and then there's no warmth in them, and so I wanted something a little bit shorter than the raincoat, but also something that's going to give me some warmth. Now what also, a lot of people said, I showed this fabric, which is the wool coating I have to make the long version. Now I showed this last week and I wasn't sure how well the colour came up, so I will compare it. This is like a petrol sort of teal colour. If I show you how this looks, so that is very much green, there's no sort of blue in that. Whether this suits me or not, I wasn't sure, so let me know in the comments below, should I go ahead with this green, because it came up as a deeper colour in last week's video, but as you can see, if I compare it to this sort of bluey, whether you think it's worth making the wool coat, the full length version of the Mallard jacket, in this wool coating in the long one. Now when I showed you my fabric stash, I showed you that I had this fabric which is raspberry colour, always comes up funny on screen, viscose twill. So I had the green wool coating and this, and I said they were basically the fabrics that I had left. Well, I made this into a grain line Archer shirt, so I'll show you in the next video that I do with it on, because I'm being lazy to go upstairs and go and get changed. Yeah, so I had this and the wool coating, and then I bought the quilted fabric. I did buy a couple of shirting fabrics and a jersey fabric, so I did restock slightly because I don't want to be completely out of fabrics, and there are some key pieces I need in my wardrobe. So I know that I'm being very project specific, so buying the fabric for the project so I can make the project and wear the project. and just getting a bit more organised that way. But I don't hold a massive stash, so I have 2 shirting fabrics, 1 jersey fabric to make a black casual jersey dress, and the wool green coating to make the long coat, and that's it basically. Everything else is like some summer fabric weights. But for this time of year, that's what I've got. So let me know, what do you think I should do? Should I make the green mallard coat? And what are your colours? Who here is going to make a jacket or a coat this autumn winter time? Because I really hope, that's why I've had this channel for about 5 years now, and I'll be honest, I didn't qualify to monetize this channel until this year. So I've been making videos for about 4 years, not to make money, but really just to kind of share sewing inspiration and motivation and to get that conversation flowing. So if you are a bit nervous about making a coat, I hope that I can encourage you. I'll do, like I said, I think I might do a video, a separate video about coats and jackets. But in the meantime, if you are thinking about one, put a comment down below with which one you're thinking of and what kind of fabric or colour that you're thinking of making it as well. Thank you for watching this, and I hope to see you in next week's video. In the meantime, here is a video all about the last coat that I made.